All right, new weekend, new special, new name. We are now Sunday morning Tinkle here on the Tinkle Sports and Entertainment Network. Um, I'm Brian, that's Jason, for those who are new to the program. Of course, I say that because we're going on Facebook today for the first time since we came back in September from our winter or from our summer break. Boy, I almost
Yeah,
said winter. That was almost disastrous. It's been that long since it's been so warm. But all right.
hard to believe.
Yeah. But what I will say though is it's this game tonight's going to be hot. Okay, it's going to be great. It's going to be probably the most watched Super Bowl in a really long time. I'm banking on it.
I'm hoping
Um
so, man. I'm
yeah.
really hoping it's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, but exactly. Coming up, of course, we're doing things a little differently. If you normally watch our show, you normally see a Tinkle rundown to start the show.
Mm-hmm.
We are not going to do that this time. We also don't have Tinkle on this because we want
Yeah,
to put our
for
full focus on the Super Bowl for this episode. And we want to get you set up for the big game properly with as little of our shenanigans as possible. We'll see how we make out at the end of the day.
oh don't worry, people. If you were missing it for this week, you'll get it in full force next week.
Yes, exactly. But we start off with the Super Bowl headlines. Of course, the Rams and the Bengals, they face off later today. The game is
Mm-hmm.
at 6:30 p.m. Of course, pregame starts at noon on NBC, and I believe NBC and Peacock are both carrying the big game and the pregame. Big weekend for NBC. Of course, they are also covering the Olympics right now. Um, should I just clarify the reason we don't have an Olympic show is just we don't have the time to record it right now. So I just wanted to throw that out there as a side note. Um,
And he low-key wanted to say that we haven't been watching it either, but he wanted to be very polite.
I have been watching it, so
I I
you
haven't.
speak
I'm
for
not
your
gonna lie.
you speak for yourself, bud. But
It's all right.
anyway, all right, but yeah, so the Rams they started out 12-5 in the regular season.
Mm,
Um, they had their up moments where we figured, oh man, they really are the Super Bowl contender. Then they kind of plummeted mid-season once OBJ and Von Miller came in. They had to figure out their identity again, and they bounced back in a big way. Of course, then they went on to the first round of the playoffs. They beat the Cardinals 34-11. They almost blew the game against the Bucks. They had a 27-3 lead, ended up being 27-27 going to overtime, and they would win that game. Um, and then they beat the 49ers coming back from behind 10 in the championship game. Needless to say, I think the Rams have put together an impressive run, wouldn't you say?
yeah, I think so. Well, if there was really a quarterback that had a chip on his shoulder, it was definitely Matthew Stafford, and you saw it in those 3 games. But yeah, the Rams had a very impressive run.
Yes. I honestly like what they did this year. I think, honestly, they very well deserved to be in this game. I mean, and to think we almost got the 49ers, we almost got the rematch from 1988.
Right.
That would have been something too. Um, but anyway,
Oh no, I was gonna also say, it took a little bit of time before OBJ and Von Miller got
yeah.
acclimated to the Rams. But once they did, they made a big old impact to the Rams
Oh yeah.
offense and the defense. OBJ resurrected his career in a short little stint
He
as of as as of late with the Rams. Von Miller, hit and miss, but if there's anybody that can really help out that team with the Super Bowl experience, and also knowing what needs to be done to win a Super Bowl, I should say, the one
Von
player
Miller.
that has been there, has won it before, and knows exactly what it takes to winning it. Wouldn't you not want to have Von Miller, who has won
Exactly.
Super Bowl 50, to rally the defense around? Like, hey, I've been here in this situation. I know what needs to be done. We get our defense rallying around me and go
Yeah,
out there and put on the best game that we can. So, yeah.
exactly. Um, Now going on to the Bengals side of things, they finished the season 10-7. They won their division. Boy, I'm gonna tell you, if there's any team, I mean, we were sitting here early in the year, we we really let the Bengals fly under the radar, as did the rest of the media, because neither of us thought they were making it out of the first round, let
Right.
alone the second round. They beat oh my gosh, I keep saying Oakland. They beat the Vegas Raiders 26-19 in the wild card. Their first playoff win since 1991. You weren't even allowed to text, or you couldn't even text back then. We documented that. Back when George H.W. Bush was the president of the United States as well. And then to double down on that, they go into Tennessee. What looked like was going to be a game-winning drive by Ryan Tannehill. He chokes, throws the pick, ends the game, and the Bengals win 19-16, their first conference championship appearance since 1988. I believe that was the Reagan years, if you want to really go back. I mean, toward the end of the Cold War, if not the very end of the Cold War.
Right.
So, I don't know. I have to go back to history class to learn that. And then, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs, a game everyone expected them to lose big. I mean, if you didn't think they were going to lose those first two games, boy, everyone was like, this is a gimme for the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to their third straight Super Bowl. We were sitting here saying that there's nothing stopping them. And sure enough, Bengals made it happen. Overtime, came back from 21-3. We said our thoughts on that game. But, man, Cincinnati is the find-a-way team this year. Easily.
So, I always want to ask, so Chiefs fans, does the unlucky 13 come back to haunt you every now and then? Or is that just for the Bills fans, too? I don't know. I guess I would have to ask.
Yeah.
But I just thought I threw that out there. But yes, the Bengals run was very impressive. I was not thinking that they would have been the team in the conference championship. Of course, we've digressed about the overtime rules. Until it changes, you got to be
Yeah.
the lucky one to win the toss to go down there, and unless you do what Mahomes did and chokes the game away at 13 seconds into the overtime and throws a pick, and then the culture changes. Anything can happen. But
Yeah.
again, Joe Burrow literally rallied a team around him. They call him Joe Burr for a reason, because he literally has ice cold veins in his body, and he keeps his cool. And the thing that kind of makes me a little irritated is they're already comparing him to being like another Tom Brady, because he's very composed and does great things in the pocket, unlike like Brady does. Look, first off, don't compare him to Tom Brady. It's his second year in the league. The man has been doing great things since he's been in college. He's one of those purebred talents. Literally a diamond in the rough, a once in lifetime type of player who can do well in the college and also do well in the NFL. Not very often you see that. It's usually either one or the other. But who would have thought that all it took was Jamar Chase for the Bengals' luck to really go in their favor?
Yes, exactly. No one, I mean, I honestly thought when I watched Jamar Chase early in the year, I'm sitting there, I'm just doing this, and I'm like, there's just no way this team is going to be even remotely close this year. I thought for sure Zach Taylor's going to get fired. It's going to be wholesale changes. And boy, they proved everybody wrong. And on a grand scale, too. But what I will say, Joe Burrow, here's the thing, he doesn't deserve the comparisons to Tom Brady. But
Hmm.
what I will say is I can see why. Because Tom Brady did it in his second season in the league. And
Right.
now Joe Burrow is doing just that. I will say I think Joe Burrow is much more composed in these situations. It's just nothing phases him. You would think being down 21-3 to defending AFC champions, the former Super Bowl champions, you'd think that would get to his head, especially the Arrowhead fans that are just crazy in general. But no moment is too big. I guess what I'm going to go with is no moment is too big for Joe Burrow. No
No.
moment. Okay. So, moving forward, of course, Matt Stafford, his first three playoff wins in his 13-year career. Of course, keep in mind his first 12 seasons, he was a Detroit Lion.
Hmm.
So I don't even think we need to discuss why it took him so long. The proof is right there. Joe Burrow, keep this in mind. Joe Burrow, this is his first playoff appearance ever in his second NFL season. And if you count the fact that early in his first season he went out with, I believe, a torn ACL,
Yeah, it was.
which brought a real premature end to his rookie season. Um, so in a way, he was still kind of a rookie coming into the season, still having to learn the ropes.
Right.
And then the biggest note in all this is we just went from the oldest Super Bowl matchup for head coaches to the youngest matchup. Sean
I know,
McVay
crazy thing.
is 36 years old as of 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then Zach Taylor, again, the guy who was on the hot seat entering the season, he is 38 years old and he is sitting very comfortably now in control of his own destiny. Um, should I also note here the last playoff or last Super Bowl appearances for each team? The Bengals, it was 1988 versus the 49ers. They lost 20-16, and they have never won the Super Bowl in the history of their franchise. The Rams, it was 2018 versus the Patriots, possibly the most god awful Super Bowl we've ever watched.
Yep, I remember that. That
Yeah,
was god
remember
awful.
we were at a friend's apartment. We're just sitting there. I think we were all just bored. We thought it was the worst Super Bowl we ever watched. And keep in mind, we weren't alive for some of the big blowouts in the Super Bowls in the '90s, and Joe Montana and all that. But anyway, on to the big questions before we go to our break here. Which quarterback has the most at stake amongst these two? I think it's a pretty definitive answer.
Oh, Matt Stafford by far, because say if Joe Burrow loses this, he still has a hell of a lot more years left to come. Matthew Stafford, yeah, he's in his 13th year, but who's to say that he doesn't? He maybe has like 3, 4 good years left after said season. So I think Matthew Stafford has a hell of a lot more because if he gets that Super Bowl win championship, then that puts a lot of speculation where he could possibly be a first ballot Hall of Famer because look what he did with Calvin Johnson. Look what he did with Cooper Kupp. If you add Super Bowl champion on that resume, who's to say he can't be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'm going to play devil's advocate, or I'm going to kind of play both sides here. So, for Matt Stafford, again, his career was always under the radar because of how historically bad the Detroit Lions have been. So I feel like Matt Stafford was really underappreciated those first 12 years compared to like Aaron Rodgers, who was postseason every single season, you know, compared to Peyton Manning, who was in the... I mean, I'm not even gonna... Actually, you know what? I scratched the Peyton Manning comment because those... Peyton Manning, Tom Brady were different levels. But Aaron Rodgers, I mean, that's what I think is a fair comparison because Aaron Rodgers has always had a Super Bowl team. He's always been a Super Bowl caliber team, but has always fallen short. But he's always in the picture. So I feel like, you know, compared to Aaron Rodgers, he's been underappreciated in terms of that. So I feel like this win, here's the thing, Matt Stafford's a Hall of Famer. There's not a question about it, but like you said, the win would certainly solidify a potential first ballot when that time comes. Now, he's still got like 4 or 5 years left in him, if I had to guess, of really good football. So, but as far as Joe Burrow goes, I mean, this has been a Cinderella run for Joe Burrow. But like you said, he's still got years ahead of him. But obviously, we know how the media goes. Look at what happened with Patrick Mahomes, his MVP season. I mean, they took it off the rails. They went riding with it. I mean, they went riding off into the sunset with it. So, you know, if Joe Burrow loses this Super Bowl, let me put it this way. Patrick Mahomes didn't get half as much negative media for losing to Tom Brady as Joe Burrow will probably get for losing to the Rams if that were to happen.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Okay, Joe Burrow will essentially get cast into the background again. But if Joe Burrow wins this Super Bowl, he's on an elite level with Patrick Mahomes, and those two are going to rock the media for the next handful of years. I mean, they're going to be the top storyline every single year. So I feel like this is a chance to put him on the pedestal as one of the greatest quarterbacks in the great young quarterbacks in the league. I mean, put him right at the top. If he wins.
Yeah,
if he loses, it knocks him back down to, oh, you know, he's, you know, like, he's an okay guy. He doesn't win in the big games, though. But, yeah.
See, it's tough to tell because I really do think that in a situation that Joe Burrow maybe has that type of one-up over Matthew Stafford because Joe Burrow has won a national championship before.
Yeah.
He's been in those big games. He beat a big team. LSU, when they won that national championship, I'm pretty sure they beat Alabama, didn't they? In the national championship game? So he knows how to beat these big dogs being the underdog team. So don't be shocked. That's why I said I guess I'll lead this into the next thing. The surprises we might expect, we might see the upset where the underdog team of Joe Burrow leads the Bengals over the top dog Rams.
Well,
he's been there in the situation before. Don't be shocked if that's what happens again. Like he does it in the NFL as well as he's done it in college because he's been there before.
Well, of course, I want to backtrack as well because we did skip over one. Which team has more at stake? And I think it's pretty easy to identify that one. The Rams. The Rams went all in on Matt Stafford.
Oh, yeah, true.
Okay, the Rams went all in on Matt Stafford. They went all in on all these deals. They're now a negative cap. So, obviously, you know, they've got a lot more at stake in terms of a whole 53-man roster compared to the Bengals, where the Bengals, the big question is, well, how are we going to fix this offensive line? Because, again, Joe Burrow got sacked 10 times in Tennessee. You get sacked 10 times, you usually don't win those. Okay, so, I think, you know, I guess you're agreeing here with all this, I don't know, before we go on to that next one.
Yeah, I would say that the Rams have a heck of a lot more at stake because you did invest a lot into that team to win now instead of win for the future.
Hmm.
You want to win. You want to try to win as many championships now instead of building up for the future, which could be a good or bad thing.
Hmm.
At least with the Bengals situation, they have a situation where yes, they can win now, but at least they have pieces in place for the future so they
Yeah.
can be successful for years to come. The Rams, I don't know. They have a lot of veteran players where they're
Hmm.
not gonna exactly be, you know, having too many years. Like Bob
Hmm.
Miller's up there in line of, in
Yeah.
terms of,
Whitworth is probably done after the Super Bowl as
yeah,
well.
probably done. If he would, you know, it would be nice to see him right off into the sunset with a victory. But yeah, he's probably done. His heart is in both teams because he's played for both teams.
Hmm.
Um,
But yeah, so you already answered the next question about what surprises you might see. I wouldn't be shocked to see another very low scoring Super Bowl. I mean, like, almost a snooze fest. This game's getting a lot of hype around it, but let's look at it. The Bengals defense has been on point the last few weeks.
mm,
Okay? They've come up big where they've needed to come out with, a good result. And the Rams defense, need I say anything about the Rams defense, but, no offensive line. There's really very little way to contain Aaron Donald as it is. And now,
right.
even if you somehow contain him, you've got to contain Von Miller on the other side. I don't know. I just don't see, you know, what I would say is don't be surprised if you see Joe Burrow get sacked 5 times. Minimum.
Yeah, I can really see it happening.
Okay. So that's what I will say. But what I will also say is don't be surprised to see him bounce back.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't ever count out a second half comeback
Yeah.
either.
This team.
I could see this being a Super Bowl where the Rams take up a nice sizable lead
Hmm,
heading into halftime, where the second half ends up being the Joe Burrow show.
I can
So
see it being a 13-6 deficit, but I again, I'm gonna save my picks for when we talk Twitter polls and game predictions.
right,
But you know, anyway, I think now is actually a good time to take that break because these polls are gonna be pretty fun. I think for the both of us because it takes us out of the sports for just a little bit. So we finally get to debate stuff that doesn't involve sports, doesn't quite involve just involves other aspects of the game. So we will be back with those polls. Excuse me. We'll be back with those polls. We'll be back with our game predictions. That's all coming your way here on Sunday Morning Tinkle Super Bowl edition. All right, welcome back. Tinkle, or oh my goodness, Sunday Morning Tinkle.
hmm
Um, it's gonna take a little getting used to with the name, but I figured Super Bowl weekend was a good weekend to start with it. But anyway, so not many of you saw, I'm sure, but we did some polls on Twitter. Um, we're gonna try to do this every year, so be sure to check out our Twitter and be sure to follow us in the bottom. It's literally right below Jason now. It is not in the middle of the screen like it was before, but follow us Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Tinkle Sports. So that way, and especially on Twitter, because occasionally we'll do polls that we will do on our show. So
right.
let's start off with the basic one. Now, I'm not asking you to make a pick for the game, but I'm just going to ask you who are you rooting for when we go to the party tonight?
Oh, what am I rooting for? I'm
Well,
rooting for all the good ass food.
no, I mean like what team?
Oh, what team?
Rams, Bengals, or do you just not care? Just want to see a good game.
I'm probably going to be more so going for the Rams over the Bengals, but honestly, I would be okay with whoever wins.
I'm toward either is fine, but again, just because I want to see Matt Stafford win a Super Bowl, he deserves it. Aaron Donald's one of the best pass rushers the game has ever seen, so those two, I just want to see him win one. Joe Burrow, I want to see win one, but he's got plenty of time to do that. If he does, though, good for him. I'm honestly happy if he does. Anyway, here's the best part. Now we're on to the food discussion for just a moment. Best place for pizza and wings. So, of course, I have to put the national chains on there because we're kind of not just a local show. So, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's, or I told people to list a local place or another place that was not listed.
Huh.
Best place for pizza and wings. I'm sorry.
If I'm gonna go national, probably Pizza Hut. Local, gosh, probably would have to go with Guida's for
Rochester, New York, by the way.
Yeah.
Just for those who don't.
Local Guida's.
Just for those that aren't from our area, I agree with you, Guida's here. We didn't order that this year, though. Of course, last year, usually every year the two of us go to a party with friends. We'll order a couple sheets and have at it. But last year we didn't because the COVID cases were so high in New York, and just it was a mess. I think a few people. I think you might have had it this time last year or something.
No, not around.
No, it wasn't. No, wait. Yeah, it was later. It was well after that, I think. But yeah. So normally we'll get a couple sheets. We'll get 24 wings, and normally we'll go to Guida's for all that. This year, though, we ordered Max Pizza and Catering, and I'm looking forward to that. I think there's a very close second, Gates, New York. But Guida's, Irondequoit, New York, easily the best. National chain, I miss Papa John's. It was okay, but Pizza Hut, definitely. No one out pizzas the Hut. Sorry, had to throw that in there.
I know.
Here we go. One that could set Western New York in a frenzy. Best wing sauce, buffalo barbecue garlic parm, or another.
See, I know this is bad for me to say.
You're wearing a Bills jersey, damn it. You only have one answer.
No, I'm not putting buffalo wing sauce as one of my favorites. I'm going either garlic parm or barbecue.
Let's see. I'm not going to hear the end of this when I go into work on Monday morning.
That's all right.
Because you answered barbecue, I won't hear the end of it. But anyway, I used to love going, I love buffalo, so obviously I'm going to pick buffalo, but garlic parm is severely underrated.
Yes, okay. It is.
But as far as buffalo, I used to go as hot as I can go. But now, you get older, you get heartburn. It's not that fun.
And trust me, it's been happening a heck of a lot more often than you think.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Anyway, here we go. Next up, best on pizza. Of course, I put meat lovers just because we don't have enough room to list every single meat product like pepperoni and whatnot. Veggies was the other one. Just cheese. And then pineapple.
Oh, gosh.
Yes, I'm starting every war.
Meat lovers by far.
Yes.
Best thing for pizza.
Yes. Just cheese is great for Lent. That's about it.
Yeah.
But Pineapple, I'm sorry. If any of you viewers do pineapple on pizza, just get the hell out, okay? You're done watching. We don't want you. We don't want your viewership anymore. Just kidding.
And before you say anything, no, we have not had Hawaiian pizza before.
No, and I never will. So, best Super Bowl side dish is the next one. Wings, mac and cheese. I don't even know why I had to put wings on there. I don't know. That one probably would have won if people voted. Loaded nachos or another.
See, I'm always thinking, like, I'm not going to go with wings because that usually goes with pizza anyway. I'm going to go with I'm going to say chips and dip as, like, the Super Bowl
Hmm.
side because it's usually what you always have as a side
Yeah.
dish for these games is chips and dip before they go, like, at least with the pizza and wings. So,
Yeah. Loaded nachos, though. I mean, come on. You know, if they're there, you gotta go for them. I mean, but obviously, yeah, I agree. Chips and dip. I do like mac and cheese, but I feel like that's just too much with pizza and wings. I feel like that would just make my stomach explode.
right.
So, um, I'm gonna go with chips and dip. And I broke the news on Wednesday. Your boy here is making a pizza dip for the party. I got so
It better come up good, man. Or,
I got a real nice stash of cream cheese.
better you're gonna start a war here on this channel, man. You better not say
Cream cheese
that.
shortage, folks. You better go get it while you can.
Hey, if you
Um,
want to go get some, go to All Days. They have it a lot.
yes. So, oh man. All right, here we go. Best way to pregame before the big game. Backyard football, hit the gym, binge watch pregame shows, or another way that you might celebrate.
Oh, probably backyard football. I mean, we haven't ever done it. I never ever done it before, but
I mean, we've
why
done
not?
it at the park, so I guess that counts for something. Because remember, we did it at the park one year in the snow and the slush, like a bunch of idiots.
Crazy to think that we did that, but hey,
Can't do it
you
this year, too much snow.
know, yeah,
Oops.
like 2 feet of snow, just about.
Yeah. I was instructed not to get hurt, so by my boss from work, so I cannot play football. But I can assure you, hitting the gym is definitely on the itinerary.
Yeah, but the thing is that I think everybody's gonna be hitting the gym, so probably not the best time to go.
I usually pick a really good time, so I think I'll be good that day. Yeah, and then definitely afterward, making the pizza dip, and then I'm going to be watching some pregame, sitting back and relaxing before I have to go pick up the pizza. So, yeah, it should be fun. Got the whole day off. Speaking of days off, should I note this? And now we're going to get into the political debate. Should Super Bowl be moved to a Saturday? Or should the Monday after be the holiday? And here's the other option. Why not both? Or should we just keep it as is?
Mm, I think that it should be the Monday after as a holiday. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, then again, yeah, it's Saturday, people usually typically have the weekend off. So maybe having it on a Saturday would be better too, beneficial. But when, you're somebody like me, you're still going to have to work Sunday mornings anyway. So it'd be easier for the Monday after, like still it being Sunday and then the Monday
Hmm.
afterwards being the holiday. So I think you kind of keep it the same, but Monday after being the holiday.
Yeah. See, this is where I'm going to put my political cap on. Vote for me. for political office, I'm not going to tell you what I'm running for, but I will make legislation that on Super Bowl Sunday, here's my idea. Because look, I guarantee you no retail place is generating enough sales to warrant being open. Okay? So why not, and this is my proposal, 6 p.m. Eastern, grocery stores, retail stores, all that, they're closed. They're done for the night. Okay? Get out at 6 p.m., you can get home, enjoy time with your family and whatnot. Reopen at 7 a.m. the next day. Okay, this is on the East Coast, by the way. Of course, West Coast can abide by different rules if they want. But I think they should do that. And on top of it, offer time and a half as a holiday for anyone that has to work on Super Bowl Sunday. Mandatory time and a half. Now, of course, if you're working in the hospitals, sorry, thank you for everything you're doing, but sorry, obviously they'd have to work during the Super Bowl. But then anyone in an office space, anyone that automatically has Sunday off anyway, Monday is considered the day off for you. Plain and simple. And the reason I proposed that is look at Super Bowl viewership. I mean, the NBA Finals, the World Series will never ever compare to it. And look at the other sports. All the major sports and also the Stanley Cup as well. None of them compare to the Super Bowl. And of course, look at other pro sports. They all stop dead in their tracks when the Super Bowl is on.
Right.
Okay. So why can't we just say, hey, it's a holiday, and just close everything up at 6?
Yeah, I know, I wish.
And not just for that. Let me just say also the other reason, of course. Keep in mind, DWI checkpoints are going to be upped for the Super Bowl anyway. So who really wants to be out until 10 p.m. on Super Bowl Sunday, risk driving around with a bunch of drunks? I don't.
I don't either.
That's my proposal. So, anyway, back up we go. Any bets on the big game? Super Bowl squares, online betting, other, sources, or, well, actually I shouldn't say other, because then we're tipping into the illegal stuff. So no. So Super Bowl squares, online betting, or are you just saying no to any betting for the Super Bowl?
If I'm going to do any kind of betting for the game, I'm probably going to go to Super Bowl squares because they've been around a heck of a lot longer. Yeah, I know there's no guarantee for both, but there's a better chance for the Super Bowl squares than for the sports betting, where it has to be a certain thing. At least for the Super Bowl squares, it's a certain score per quarter. So I'm going to go with the Super Bowl squares because it is our every year type of thing. So
I got 4 squares this year. Okay, I got 2.
I'm kind of disappointed that Home Depot doesn't have any Super Bowl squares because I was kind of hoping I could have put some money into one, but
yeah. See, I got 2 from work. I got 2 from my mother. Her former coworker was running Super Bowl squares. Big prizes in that one, so I'm glad to be a part of that one. I got shitty numbers, though, I think. I got 9 and 9, and then I got 1 and 8.
Well, you never know. 1 and 8 seems a little bit more accurate.
1 and 8's the best I've ever gotten. So then I don't know yet about the work ones. The work ones I'll probably find out Saturday with any luck. So, all right. We're on to the big point. The final NFL prediction that we will do this entire season until September. Rams and Bengals. The big prediction. -4. The Rams are favored on the spread. Jason, who are you taking for all the marbles?
I'm going with the Rams. I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-point game.
I'm going to say Rams too. I don't know. I just think Cooper Kupp is going to be too much, and I worry about Joe Burrow's offensive line. I will tell you that he will keep him in the game, though.
I'm going to say this again, too. It's going to be another overtime Super Bowl. And I think it's going to be off of a game-winning field goal.
Yeah. I'm going to
say 34-31 Rams game-winning field goal.
You're going with the Simpsons prediction. Oh, no. Sorry, that Simpsons one was debunked. So, but, all right. That's our Super Bowl show. We're both going with the Rams. It looks like we're both rooting for the Rams. I want to remind you guys, of course, if you remember last year when we did our Super Bowl special, we did a live show afterward. Like the second the game ended, we went live on YouTube. This time around, unfortunately, we will not be doing that. We will not be going live whatsoever after the Super Bowl. I got to work early. I'm pretty sure Jason's got to work early the next day. And we're
normal time.
Yep, we're both going to be at a party. I'm not going to rush home, and I'm not going to be a burden there by live streaming. I think it's just best for the both of us to really just enjoy our Super Bowl Sunday, come back and do the show next Sunday, and then we can recap it. So the whole first half of our show on the Sunday following, that will cover the Super Bowl. Okay, we will wrap it up. We will wrap up the NFL season, basically, and then we will move on to covering probably mostly NBA and NHL going forward.
Yep.
So, but yeah, and of course, to the Facebook viewers, unfortunately, we will not be available to you next Sunday. So you will have to go over to YouTube, or you will have to go over to our Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You're just going to have to look up Sunday Morning Tinkle on those platforms to find it. So, just wanted to throw that out there. Jason, what's coming up this week on No Final Bell before we go?
Oh, man. So, if anybody's big on wrestling, we had 2 big debuts in one show. We had the Switchblade himself, Jay White, showing up to join up with the Elite and WWE. Again, I've talked about it a bit before, but you done fucked up with getting rid of Keith Lee. But who shows up in AEW? The Limitless One himself. Bask in his freaking glory. Keith Lee shows up in AEW and wins the qualifying match to be in the face of the Revolution ladder match. But of course it doesn't, end there. I don't know any other news. You'll have to watch episode 25 to find out more.
Yep. Congratulations, by the way, episode number 25.
We're quarter there so far, but
yes.
I will say that 'tis the season to the year of debuts in AEW so far. 2022, so far the year of interesting debuts. So definitely keep it up. But what you got going on for out of turn 4 there,
well,
Brian?
I won't be on No Final Bell, but I can assure you. So this week, of course, you may have saw our last show. Programming note: we will be available at 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook Watch. We're going to be making our season predictions for the NASCAR Cup Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, NASCAR Truck Series. Trevor Bayne now in the NASCAR Xfinity Series field as well. This, of course, keep in mind Trevor Bayne, Daytona 500 winner, really hasn't been in the series since due to health problems and other issues. We're going to break down that as well. Make our playoff predictions, championship predictions early on. And then on Friday, we will be having our Daytona special. That will be at noon Eastern, YouTube, Facebook Watch again. And we will be recapping Speed Weeks. Of course, most of the Speed Week stuff happens Tuesday night and Wednesday night, Thursday night. That's why we can't cover that on Tuesday. But we want to get you ready for the Daytona 500. So that is why we are going to go Friday afternoons. That way you can watch the race at night and you'll be up to speed on everything going on in the series. And then, of course, No Final Bell, they'll be over on YouTube 5 p.m. Eastern Wednesday, give or take.
Yeah, except for that 1 week where it was like an hour later, but
Yeah.
I've been making sure that's Wednesdays at 5 p.m.
Yes. So that's why I wanted to just add that give or take thing, of course. But just keep your eyes peeled. Both shows coming up. And then tune in next week. We'll talk NBA trade deadline and a bunch more. Of course, March Madness is on the horizon too, so maybe we'll have a little March Madness news. And maybe we'll be out of a baseball lockout. Who knows? God, I hope so, is all I can say.
Probably the time is ticking. Usually the season starts in April,
Yeah.
so.
But, alright, yeah. But anyway, I hope you all enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday. Be sure to eat a lot of pizza and wings, folks. And we're going to go off and enjoy our Super Bowl Sundays, as we hope you will as well. Until next Sunday. Well, or until Tuesday or Wednesday or Friday or whatever.
Yes, football fans, enjoy your Thanksgiving for football.
Yeah.
Of football, pretty much.
That's what I was going for when I said my spiel about running for office. So, all right. Until then, folks, goodbye, everyone.